Hello, Instagram and the world. My name is Jonathon Melendrez. I am a professional ballroom dancer. I am a three-time winner of the Best of the Knot. And I choreograph wedding first dances. Today's show, we're going to be featuring and getting a different perspective of what it's like to have a first dance. What's it like to have a first dance? We're going to have a couple coming on, a beautiful young couple who just got married pre-COVID. They had just did the wedding and the whole ceremony just before COVID came around. And boy, I tell you, it was a beautiful, excellent wedding, and I'm so glad that they got married, because now weddings are so much different and than they were back in the day. Back in the day, January, February. But times before January and February, people getting married were really different. You know, they had big, huge parties, lots of people on the dance floor, big bands, and everybody that they knew was invited. But these days, because of COVID, things have just totally changed around, and nobody really has a good idea of what's to be expected through this COVID. So, and it's easing its way through people's weddings and their ceremonies and their parties and their events. So things are different now than they were 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and it's being rippled throughout the world. So I think we got Lora online here, and I really want to get a chance to talk to her and her and Tracy and find out what exactly they had. And of course, I want to hear about their first dance too. So let's see if we can welcome them onto the line. There they are. Nice.
We're just getting drinks on. 5 o'clock.
Time for a cocktail. Woohoo!
We are at the gin bar. We made a bar called the G Spot. So we figured may as well enjoy it.
You know, that is so awesome.
Show you the bar?
You guys have always been cool. What's that?
Did we show you the bar that we made?
No, let's see it. Oh, that is nice.
And of course, it's fully stocked with gin.
You know, I'll tell you, you had the gin bar at your ceremony, and my wife Heather bought probably all of the different types of gin.
Oh,
now
yeah.
She's hooked on it. Now she's totally hooked on it. That is so awesome.
A lot of people are. There were a lot of really fun drinks there. We have to give a shout out to Palette Cuisine because they totally nailed the gin bar.
I tell you, I was really impressed. Everyone that I saw there was really impressed. Everyone loved it.
We liked it a lot.
Yeah.
We're so happy that we actually got it in before, everything else happened. So,
that's exactly what was going to be one of my points I wanted to bring up. In fact, that's how I kind of led into this whole interview. That you guys were one of the last couples. There weren't too many couples after you that came in to learn for their first dance before COVID hit. And once COVID hit, things changed. Things changed pretty quickly. So, but really, I want to hear, and I'm sure people out there listening want to hear, one, about your overall wedding experience, and of course, your journey about the first dance, because I know when people start thinking of a first dance, they really don't know what to do, where to go, who to ask. So let's start there. So let's start with the point that you wanted to have a first dance. Take it away from there.
Well, I think we spoke to friends who had been married.
And who had actually taken your classes before.
Right, and they told us that they'd use you guys. And so we were like, okay, so reference from a friend. And then they showed us the YouTube video of the incredible dance that they did. And we were like, yeah, that's who we'll go with.
That's awesome. Woo! So, okay, so then from there, what happened from there?
Well, I think we went for a meeting with you and we were kind of like, okay, we'll do a dance. And then didn't realize your brilliance and like piecing it together step by step. Like we kind of just thought you would teach us like to stand up straight, like have some postures. We still haven't learned the way you do your hips.
Yeah.
That's
a skill.
Like stand on the floor, like you are on. I
Yeah.
say that I learned that in the sessions, but much better than we were. So definitely a journey. Like I can't imagine us trying to like.
And I have 2 left feet, so the fact that we made it around that dance floor and no one got killed is amazing within itself. And
Tracy was kicked out of ballet when she was a kid.
I was.
Yeah. Really?
That my mom dances, and she actually used to do competitions, and she's quite talented, but that talent wasn't passed on to me, unfortunately.
No, it definitely wasn't.
So sadly not.
Oh, though, John, you remember the strut, right?
Remember the what? Yeah.
Her little cowgirl dance. Yeah.
I love that. I'm such a fan of that cowgirl dance. I love it. She gets me every time.
But
every time.
It was on the day of our wedding. All we wanted to do the whole day was dance. We were like sitting there, Patty's like trying to take our picture, and we're upstairs waiting for the wedding, just dancing away.
Every place we were at, we were dancing, and I think that kind of came through with us. All the practice that we did into getting into the dance and getting the dance music and selecting it kind of really came into that. And I think we did a combination. We did a classic. So when we picked our dance song, and then we went into something kind of funky that most people I don't even think would.
John is still in denial about the shenanigans.
I don't think John loved that.
Don't forget, at the end of the dramatic dance, we really want to do something fun, bring out the crowd, and like until the second to last dance lesson, you're like, yeah, sure. I think you were hoping we would change our mind, like. Because like you're so cute, you're like they're all gonna clap and wave, and we're like, no, they're gonna be doing patty cake.
Yeah. Once I got that, I was like, oh, okay, I got it now.
I people like change their, they do like a couple different dances. Like maybe they do, I don't know dances. Maybe they do like a hustle and like this stuff and the other. And I think originally we thought maybe we would go into something more traditional, fun dance. Mm-hmm. And then we had that song we loved from the Macy Gray concert. And so you were really excited about,
I'm making it blending very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So when you started the dance, like the first lesson, what were you thinking? Were you thinking like, oh my God, this is crazy, this is too hard, or what were you thinking?
No. You started us with the box step.
Right. I think
you made it simple.
Right. I think the way that the progression worked is like that game that you play. I mean, although it's a terrible example of like telephone where you start with a message and it keeps going, but the way you built it up, that by the time we got to the end with some of the hardest steps were, the beginning was fluid. Like it almost happened naturally. Like you were doing it so often every single time that it became part of a repertoire, and then you just flowed through it. So even when I did do this on the day of the dance, on our wedding day, I forgot where I was, and all of a sudden when I saw what she did, I knew what I had to do because we had done it so many times. But there was the gin involved, so it wasn't my on drinks. And I kept saying to them, more tonic, and they kept, and I'm like, no, more tonic. I want just a touch, just wave the gin bottle over it.
You know how it goes when you're dieting for a wedding. So
yeah.
You can't hold your own. My bachelorette party, I had a gallon of water that I carried with me all night just to stay hydrated. So food deprived.
That's funny. So Tracy, going back to what you said about losing and then getting back on. Some people ask me, or they say, well, we don't want to choreograph dance. We want just to do our own thing on the dance floor.
I'm so glad we didn't do that. And I think for a lot of reasons. I mean, first of all, not many people have danced formally like that. I think some people have, like, you go to a bar mitzvah, you go to a wedding, and you dance periodically. Because most of a wedding is fun dancing. No one actually does that kind of like that more romantic kind of dancing. And I think that had that have been the case, it wouldn't have had that flow.
You get the jitters too.
Yeah, you get really nervous, and having that like choreographed background, it gives you that plan to follow, and it makes it so much easier.
It made it so much easier.
So much easier.
Yeah, I have to tell you, even when we walked out down the aisle, you don't realize how many people are looking at you, and how, even though you practice, and we actually were lucky enough to do our dance in our wedding location before we, even though you
With
practiced
you,
there,
with John came, you came with us,
right.
and that was really helpful because we had to really watch because our location was very unique.
Well, we know Tracy's a spatial person, but that aside, my point is, even though we planned to be prepared, you still, when you walk out and, you know, the aisles are closer together, or there's more people, or you don't realize your friend. Yeah, I walked out to go find Tracy, to walk down the aisle. We were meeting in the middle, and because of the rain, we had these beautiful tents put up, these clear tents. She was here, and I thought she was going to be there, and so I'm looking, and I'm like this. Where's my bride?
At an angle, and it was a little, you know.
Right. So the point though is that
I made her work for it.
There's always things that you don't expect, you know, and so
Yeah.
you know, having that plan, like she said, that plan, like I wasn't nervous because I just knew what we had to do. It was you focus on. I almost didn't hear you guys call me up for the dance because my best friend had given her speech and it was amazing, and I wanted to go thank her, and then she's like, maybe the dance. So luckily, you know, we fell right in, and I tend to drink more gin than she does.
They were so strong.
They were strong, but even I lost my place. She lost her place for a moment, and then she was fine. But the other thing that goes into it is if you're not rehearsed and practice, even though we practice at home in our wedding dresses, you made us get better shoes. And I am stubborn, very stubborn, but I can't say enough how much those shoes that we got changed the whole dance. And your face, the day that we showed up with the shoes we thought we were going to wear,
that was
hilarious.
Priceless.
Plus, we were at the other ballroom practicing, and you were like, oh my God, everybody here is going to laugh at me because these chicks can't even walk in these shoes, let alone dance.
We thought you could teach us to walk in the shoes too, John. We expected miracles.
Man. Yeah, but those shoes, having the right shoes the day of, knowing the plan, practicing where we were. And for me, even when I knew that she kind of lost her step for a second, made everything fine. I knew I knew if I just kept going, she would catch on.
And I also
just like in practice, she did for me a lot.
I also think that one of the key components of it is that when we first came to you about the dances, and you recommended, like, you know, the longer package. At first I was like, well, we don't need that. We needed every single one of those. Benefited us because, I mean, like I said, and even people that might say that they're dancers, I have a decent memory. I can remember stuff. But on that day, when you're in that high of that day, or having that as like almost like
because you had a wine ceremony at your wedding,
whatever may be the case, that having that in your back pocket is amazing. It makes you feel so much more confident, and you're not worried about it. Yeah. But you know, because it's a little the whole day is nerve wracking. Yeah, you're marrying someone. And it's crazy. The weather's not. Yeah, so
I'm a fly by the seat of your pants person. If you look, I'm in a bohemian outfit. This one's in dress slacks and like a nice top. We're a little opposite in that way. So I was more the, we'll be fine. But then you were like, all right, we'll do these lessons. And I was like, well, I'm Spanish. I like to dance. So I'm down.
John said that has nothing to do with it.
I didn't realize how much I needed the lessons, you know?
Just saying, I may have been kicked out of ballet school, but.
Yeah. Almost took the thought out of the whole dance thing.
And we got to enjoy it. And I think that was the key component.
Stiff and like, you know, we done it so.
I was stiff, but that's just because I'm English. So.
But I was always pictures. So I was trying to stand up. We have stiff moments, but the dancing was amazing and it was fun. So.
What kind of reaction?
My mom, who danced in the past, you know, and she notices obviously why I was kicked out of ballet class, but she said it was very well choreographed. It was a
cowboy dance.
And and she even said, you know, I could tell that, you know, obviously there was still a little bit of nervousness there, but that she's like, it was a beautiful dance, the way that everything was. And I think that choreography that you produced for us, John, and what was great was that when we couldn't do things, you just changed it.
I was thinking that too.
There were times that you remember the death drop?
Yes.
So I'm so glad
I just want to clarify that John dropped you, not me. John would know that me and Heel, big platforms, would not be able to pick you up. That's tough. That's tough. I saw one of your other videos where people did that. That was amazing. We're not. Thank you for not making us.
That's in 10 years when we try it again.
That's for the renewal.
That's what I mean. We'll go for the death drop. By then we might.
But to be honest, though, John was amazing because there's certain things that like I couldn't pull off. You know, I had like old knee injury and stuff, and you were never like, well, what do you mean you can't do that? You were just like, okay, well, let's try this instead. Like there was that flowy arm thing, and Tracy made it look good, and I don't know what I was doing. You were like, let's change that. Remember, like there was like a butterfly thing or something.
Yeah, and I'm English and stiff, and so some of the moves were not really.
English. You're African.
I'm African.
Yeah,
he's African too.
But you tailored it to our strengths,
right?
You know,
yeah.
Let me dip Tracy multiple times, which was great.
Yeah. What kind of reactions did you get after? Because no one knew you were going to do a first dance, right?
The bridal party.
You know this one on social media. Everyone knew all of our dances before came.
I can share the practice videos because they were so sweet. And a friend of mine that used you for her wedding told me it's like therapy before you get married, and it was.
And it was. And I think it was a bonding for us as well because we would come home and we'd practice it. And then even after the wedding, we got to take one of your other classes when it was online or in the coronavirus, and we enjoyed it.
We're gonna do another one.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one. Yeah,
that was really. I like doing it in my living room.
And that was fun, you know. And then no one was watching, which was also good.
What kind of reactions did you get from people after the dance?
So we got a lot of positive reactions. A lot of people said great things about it, that we did great, you know, so on and so forth.
And we looked professional instead of like we were stiff and nervous. You know, a lot of people when they get up there for that first dance, they're like, so beautiful. You know, it was seamless.
Well, I tell you, you guys were so much fun to work with, and as I mentioned earlier,
a lot.
You know, what's that?
Because we drink a lot.
That always helps. That always helps everything. Okay. So
it wasn't like hard.
It wasn't one way. I think we all had fun together. We enjoyed coming to dance class. It wasn't like, oh God, you know. It was something exciting. It was almost like a date night every time we went. You know, we would get to come over and we'd learn
when there's so many things you're planning at a wedding. And like
it gave you a break, almost like a little dance break, basically. You know.
Yeah.
Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have to do that for our wedding because
that's her crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
girl, and I got this little guy right there.
And that's why we needed a choreographer, because if this is what we did, it would have been a totally different video. But I'll also say that we love the way that you videoed our dance. Now, we understand that the videographer didn't want to interrupt our dance and everything, but we love the videos that you took of us at the location and when we were in the dance studio, because you flowed with us and you moved with us, and it was like one of those things, like, we love that. Unfortunately, it was lost in our video a little bit, but it was one of those things.
Our wedding video.
We still have all of John's videos that we said.
Know that you videoed at the actual wedding, and then when you posted on your page, I was like, "Oh, this is the best one!" I was, because you could see, you knew what was coming, so you knew where to be and how to anticipate it. That video is way more valuable than the one that's in our longer version of our video. So
it's very long.
Yeah, you knew the dips that were coming and that I wasn't going to drop Tracy as long as she bent her knees. No.
My hip, else it was going to be a death drop.
But it was really good. It's so funny because we haven't done the whole dance since we got married.
No, we did once. We did once. We go in the street and play in the streets sometimes, but then the cars come.
We haven't done it in a while. And the other day I was thinking, I'm like, I can't do that dance alone because you built it. Her part, my part. I don't know how your mind works. I remember like the
marriage.
No, but I'm like, and be like, well, let's do this and a little bit of that. And I was like, how does his mind do that? Yeah. And then you reverse it for the other. And I'm like, it's amazing. I started watching World of Dance because of you. She doesn't like to record it for me, but it's amazing. Yeah, and
thanks, John.
I'm not saying I have goals or anything, but plus J-Lo's on there, so can't hate that.
J-Lo's on my Peloton team. I
have a selfie with J-Lo. Just saying.
You do? No way.
Photo shoot on the beach.
Jayla doesn't know that there's a selfie.
Yeah, I was inside the house. She was on the beach. But
Wait a minute. Didn't we all see her? Because were we all there at the same time? Because I think I remember.
He probably showed you pictures and videos when it occurred.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Photos on my photo album.
Yeah.
She looks hot. Plus, she does that booty pop, and I got a video of her. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yes. Anyway,
big fan.
Dance, which I now love, and it's your fault. So.
You're welcome.
But
Well,
that's the
did
brides that now don't get, at least right now, haven't been able to have that kind of wedding, because of the way things are.
yeah. So what do you think of today's people getting married now? What do you think they're gonna be like? Their ceremony's gonna be like?
Well, we went to an online bris.
Very different than an
Very
online
different than a
wedding.
real. Yeah, but I'm saying people are doing Zoom type of things
Well, I
now.
think that now,
The
depending on
distance.
where you live, people have the ability to do small gatherings of certain sizes. And obviously, we're in Florida, is not the best location to be attending that. And, we've obviously heard some of the horror stories of people having a wedding and then horrible things happening. So it is concerning. However, I do think that, I don't think that, I was supposed to go to a wedding in April that was canceled.
Yeah.
350 plus people, almost 5-day affair, and they've postponed it for a year. So they're still going to get to have their first dance, and they got married.
Yeah.
But they're doing the wedding, they're still having the party, and I think that that's great. And I think,
too.
When it came to us, one of the things that we were super excited about was that's how we wanted our wedding to be. We wanted to be a party. We wanted to be dancing all night. We wanted to be that everyone had a good time, and that it was more about that than too much over traditionalism. And I think that we got that. I think the location was perfect.
I don't think anyone says, wow, Lora and Tracy's wedding was so traditional. That doesn't come out.
Yeah. And I think it was nice that we had all those elements. And if people choose to get married beforehand and forego the party for now, it's not like you can spend the money on traveling anyways, because we can't go anywhere. Save it. Have the party.
Yeah.
Take the time. And even if it is a dance party, or if you want to do a gin bar, or make your own gin party, whatever, still do the celebration, because if nothing else, that celebration with friends and families are memories that you'll never forget. And we watch our video. We just watched it this past week. We got published in the magazine thanks to Patty Nash, and our whole video was in there. Love Inc. They published us, and there was pictures and the video, and we got to watch the video, and it's reliving it over and over again, and it's fabulous.
You're not having people do weddings right now? Are they doing online dance lessons, John?
Well, I've got online I have online private lessons, online group classes. And I have a couple that are doing mask to mask lessons. Okay. But we started their routine already, but now their plan has changed. So they have to move the date 6 months in advance. So
6 months. Or 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months ahead, forward.
Okay. So they have more
6 extra months to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have more time to practice. So
that's awesome.
So that's good. But I'll tell you, your wedding was awesome because of the gym bar and because of the first dance. Loved it.
Videos of your wife dancing at our wedding.
Yes.
You
really can move.
Yeah, you had that nice jacket on. You look so sexy.
Every time I put that jacket on, it's like I'm like 007 or something.
We just watched 4 007 movies with
Daniel
Craig
last weekend.
And a weekend. And we had a friend come over and she made us martinis.
We learned how to make martinis. She ate olives.
I don't even like olives, but it was good.
So good in the martini.
But it was good. We had a good time. But it's just like that.
It's like when I put on my dancing shoes, You feel like a different person.
Dancing around the house.
I was just talking about this the other day with somebody else that, one of the benefits of having a choreographed dance is that, years down the road, you'll remember parts of the routine.
Yeah.
And you could just do them because, everyone goes to social situations, a house party or a club or the elevator, and there's always music going on and people dancing. So, you could always, remember some of these steps that you could always pull out from the routine and just dance.
It's so funny because I was watching something and they started, it was some talk show and they were talking about dance steps or whatever. And the guy's like, there's a couple different ways to do the box step. And I was like, I know the box step.
See, that's right.
And actually, we both are Peloton people, and one of the things that they've actually added to their Peloton run is Peloton dance classes, and they have some serious moves on there, and they're very difficult. It's an exercise class, but like dancing it's kind of like Zumba, but like they do this, and there's one gentleman whose name is Cody, and he does the things where he's like, "You're that girl," and then it's bees, and it's like a very, very animated but hilarious. But you never know when opportunities. I still can't do those classes, but it's fun. It's fun. She does.
It's your fault. But I will be honest, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a fly girl on In Living Color. So I've always.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't want to be a fly girl. I just wanted to be a fly boy so I could dance in that whole thing.
You have.
That was it. That was an inspiration.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because, we see you dance with us and you would take one of us and, do a little thing or whatever. But then I watch you hit the floor and you have that presence. And it's great because we're behaviorists. And so we model a lot of skills for other therapists and for children and parents. But to watch you do it and you don't even realize you're doing it. It's like you hit the floor to dance and
like
you
second
just,
nature.
right. And it makes us want to be better dancers. Just,
wow.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank you. I never had no idea, but thank you for bringing that up. That's pretty awesome.
You got hips too.
So what was your favorite part of the dance? Do you have a favorite part of your first?
Part happened to be the part that she got lost on in the dance at the wedding.
The spin part, I spin her out and then grab her, and then we do that little sexy kick that she would do, and then she would.
Yes.
That part is.
And then we went to the C cups.
Yeah.
And then we did that.
C
cups.
And then the C cups. Yeah.
No, it was double D's.
Double D's. Double D's.
Yeah. But my favorite part was the spin because it was just like the whole world just kind of stands still. Like, you taught us how to flip our heads, and I don't know, there's something about that just felt super magical. And on our wedding night when we had the beautiful lights and the venue and everything, that was my favorite part in the practice, and it still held up during the actual thing. But I like dipping her too.
I also will say I did enjoy the transition into the patty cake song because everyone just came out, right. And then it was.
I got to teach my dad to do patty cake at my wedding.
It was one of those things where when that happened, like everyone was in the party, and that started the party off. So that dance was definitely the formal part, and then that melding into the fun part was definitely the part where all of a sudden, okay, now it's time to dance and have fun. Now I could drink the stronger gin parts because no more responsibilities besides
trying to be so good before.
I was a little nervous.
I'm hopeless. No hope for me. So much.
Yes. You knew when the gym was gonna flow.
Yeah, and at our gym we had like a Zumba room, and so we would do our workout, and then we would go into that room, take off our shoes because they were the non-skid surface, so we had to learn how to do it.
We would bring our dance shoes to the gym, and we would practice on the gym floor because it had the wooden base, so we could actually slide and do all the things on it.
Like the ball.
Very different than in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And twirl.
That twirl is not happening, and flip-flops in the street.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
But we had
so how long has it been since you've been married now?
5 months. It was February.
Yeah, February.
So 5.5 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Time went fast.
Really fast. And it's like a different world now. We were so I had made a New Year's resolution, or I made like a challenge or something. I'm like, we got to get married before you turn 50. And we did by a month.
And look, 5 days after my 50th, the world shut down.
Yeah.
we got all the good stuff in because
our honeymoon got canceled.
Our honeymoon everything got canceled. But we got our wedding in and we got our 50th in. And now, I mean, if you're gonna be quarantined, you might as well be quarantined and married.
As a newlywed.
Right.
Newlyweds.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. So how has COVID affected your business lives?
A lot of telehealth. So a lot of Zoom, Doxy meetings online, just kind of like you, like having to learn how to do things virtually instead of in person. So yeah. Which is good because you get to use other skill sets that you didn't know that were going to be important. So for you and your clients.
Also an opportunity when you are stepping away from it through this, which I'm sure maybe you even get a little bit when you watch people through Zoom versus being right there on top of them and just, one of the great things when we had the classes was that if we messed something up, you could guide us and show us like how to do something. And that's what we do in our job. Is like, if I see a therapist who needs help on something, I'll jump in, show them how to do it, then let them try it. That's what you did with us. And it was so helpful.
Like, let me show you how you
not,
that.
Not being able to do that and having to use your words to help people to be able to explain has hopefully helped our vocabulary, besides all the F-bombs when things don't go right. But, but the idea is behind you have to really work on those skills and be able to, how can I explain it? Because when we even took your class, you were like, do this. You were very specific about try this or try that. Like, with and that makes it a little bit more challenging. You really have to listen and you really have to explain yourself well.
Succinct instructions.
Without it being like verbose.
Yeah, I do right now. I do a handful of virtual private lessons on Zoom, and yeah, you're right. It's a different perspective. Yeah, I have to. You know, you use your words. If I was there in person, I'd be touching you and shoving you around
Like, do
and stuff.
Right.
yeah, for
And
sure.
But you know, I still get a lot of people enjoying and loving the virtual lessons,
For sure.
and they love it. They have a good time with it.
I think it's also what's nice about the virtual lessons is that, you know, we're in a place right now where, especially in Florida, where we just are. I feel very safe doing a virtual dance lesson with you, but it still feels like you're getting out and doing something fun.
We loved our virtual lesson
Yeah,
with
we
you.
love that, and I think that that's
Yeah.
you know, you want a date night, do a virtual dance class. You know, you want to do, you know, there's so many other ways without going out and putting yourself in
You
potential
order
risk.
in and you do a dance.
Yeah, you order in and you do a dance class.
You do it in your jammies and nobody cares.
Well,
Yeah.
he does
Yeah.
rock. You don't want to look
He
good.
doesn't care about my
You
jammies.
made me put clothes on the how to do it naked. Just joking. We have a kid around the house. I'm not running around the house.
Only
2 more weeks and he goes up to college. Then there's going to be naked dance every night. Thanks, love.
how's that?
That's awesome. I could talk to you guys forever. I swear to God. This could be, you know, I try to keep it to 20 minutes, but it goes way past 20 minutes almost every time I do this. But what kind of experiences and tips, you know, as a final question, what kind of tips or things you want to suggest to the next couple that's going to get married?
Number one, buy the dance shoes. Honestly,
From the get-go.
Yeah, I was not a believer, but and it was kind of worth it to see your face when we showed up with those big shoes. Yeah. But buy the shoes for sure. And I'm not repping any companies because I'm, you know, they're just for dancing. But and the brushing on the bottom really helped too. You had that brush that helped. So
yeah.
But I also think pick your song. Like, you know, make your song. I know we kind of pick more like a classic wedding song as far as that's concerned, but at the same time, it's pick your
are you
song.
saying we're cliche?
No, hell, there's nothing
I
to
mean,
say
the
about you,
song.
baby. The idea is that pick your song specifically for what you want to dance for, because that was one of the things is that one of the other reasons why I like the idea of us adding the fun song is that our other song was more of a serious, you know, more that kind of a romantic kind of that kind of song. Whereas with the other one, with our fun song, that was so much more about personality and that related to us. So I think that, you know, if you don't want to do 2 songs, make sure that whatever song you pick is a song that you really want to get down to, that you really want to enjoy. And also one of the things that, you know, we learned through the process that if you want to have the songs connected or melded together, you have to get someone to do that before you start the dance. Because otherwise, John doesn't know where you want to, you know, you would have to like cut this and do that. But if we said, okay, here's a minute of this song, a minute of this song put together to a 2-minute dance lesson, then you can really choreograph it to that component.
I just think you should do this, you know, and enjoy it. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the whole process because it flies by. You feel like you have all this time in the world. And then all of a sudden, the caterer is like, oh, what are we doing your tasting? And what kind of cake do you want? And you're like,
it's even further than that. Like when you come in to pick out your linens and let's drop off the liquor. And it's like a week before the wedding. And it's like, you know, it was quick.
And they're like, you have that much liquor? And you're like, that's only
a lot
half
of cars.
Yeah.
Big cars.
But and it's going to fly by. But the day of your they tell you it's fast. It's not. It's gonna fly by, and it really does. But I do have to say one more thing, and it's not exactly related to dance 100%. But enjoy your wedding day, and not just the wedding. Like our day, we loved. We had all of our family and friends that were really close to us, in our wedding room, in our hotel room while we were getting ready, and it just made it more of a day and not just 5 hours. You know, because it literally flies by. You get to see everybody for the blink of an eye. You dance your ass off. You have a good time.
And really dance your ass off. Because that was one of the things from the very beginning while we were waiting before the ceremony started. Was like, I just want to get to the dancing.
Wait, so we were upstairs dancing. Patty's trying to photograph us for our
like,
gorgeous shots. And we're just like, blame you. But yeah, enjoy all of it. And do the dance lessons because they're really going to make such a difference.
And they
are fun. And if you're having like a rough day, you can just spin your wife really hard and
drop her in the death drop.
Listen, after this COVID thing, the 4 of us have got to get together and hang out, have some cheap cocktails.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely. There'll be gin.
Or,
Don't you worry.
or we can get together with masks outside.
There we go. There we go.
So.
Well, listen, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate you guys talking and sharing your experience with a lot of
for making
future
our
brides.
dance so special and for sharing it with us.
And for also putting up with us, because this one is a handful. I'm just joking.
Well, thank you.
I'm a lot of handfuls.
Double handful.
Oh, I gotta mention one more thing: the gin bar. If I did not mention the gin bar, I'm mentioning it again. The gin bar.
Our wedding gin glasses. Laura's G&T and our wedding date, and Tracy's. They're our wedding goblets. People have like beautiful champagne flutes.
Not us. We have serious goblets.
Gin goblets.
And this is why I forgot where I was in my pins. This was the size of my gin glass.
Well, listen, thanks again. You know, people are going to watch this video and take some good pointers from it and hopefully find some inspiration, find some courage, you know, to walk into that studio and, you know, do a dance and then come out with a beautiful choreographed first dance.
I can't imagine anyone regretting the dance lessons because it makes it one less thing you have to be worried about.
And even going to the dance lessons, not even just forget about, I mean, yes, the dance,
so
of course.
Nice.
Just going to the dance lessons was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. And when we first signed up for
she also didn't think she would
classes,
like Hamilton as much as she did, but she loved it.
But anyways, but yes, I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. I think it was a great referral from Debbie, and that was awesome. And I'm just so glad that we got to have you as our dance instructor.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, you guys were totally awesome, and I looked forward every time we got a chance to get together. That was awesome. Great fun.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good night. Enjoy your gym bar. Have a great weekend. Thank you again. Bye. Okay, so there you have it. Lori and Tracy had a beautiful wedding first dance. It was great. I was there, videotaped the whole thing. I encourage everybody to do a choreographed routine 3 months in advance. 3 months in advance your wedding date. Come to the studio and try a couple of dance steps, see how we're gonna work together, and do it. Do it big. Have a great wedding. And now we're doing a virtual wedding dance lessons. So still work at wedding dance lessons and definitely have a beautiful wedding. Okay, everyone, please wear a mask, be safe, and be nice to one another. Have a great evening and great weekend.